Hey everybody, clearing. All right, this is going to be, get some sunshiny glare. This is going to be a divine masculine check-in. We are going to dive into how are these masculines thinking about coming forward? How are these masculines feeling? What emotions do they have about coming forward? So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What is it we can see for these masculines? How are they thinking? How are they feeling? What would they say to their feminine about what they are thinking and feeling regarding coming forward, coming into sacred union connection? What would they tell their feminines at this time? And advice for the divine feminines regarding what we see here. Okay, so conscious mind about the connections and coming forward. Three of Coins, they're working on it. They're working double time, burning the candle at both ends. I mean, they're loading up on everything they can do right now to make quick haste of it. Trust them, I just heard. Okay, so their thoughts are on swiftness here. They're doing things in the physical that will bring them towards this connection, this union. How are they feeling about that? Okay, honesty, it's in the inverted position. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. So they're buckling down, and I'm getting that they have quite a bit of time for introspection right now, and that others around them don't necessarily understand what they're doing, why they're doing it the way they're doing it, the speed that they're doing it or not. There seems to be people who have opinions around them, and they're really having to go it alone and trust their own hearts in whatever is happening right now. What would they say to the feminines? Two of Swords. Now, this is interesting that this card came out in the inverse. So this is about blockages being cleared. So listening to others may have been a blockage in the past, or being concerned with others, what others would think. This spun. When I pulled this material realm card off of the other deck, I didn't think I hit this deck, but it did, and it went from blockage to not blockage. So, you know, in real time, these things are changing for the masculines, and they are very much working. I just heard fervently towards these unions. What is the advice for the feminines? Oh, the reunion card. So, you know, keep envisioning that. You're not wrong to know that this is a potential here. And if you're feeling it, stay with those awarenesses at this time. What are these masculines consciously thinking about approaching you specifically, feminines? Yeah, they're freeing their minds. This is the card of getting all up in our heads about worrying, analysis paralysis, doomsdayer stuff. In the inverse like this, they are realizing that part of the conflict was these other people's opinions and not trusting their own hearts. But when it comes to you, they had all kinds of reasons, self-worth issues, things like that, that were keeping them back. Guilty conscience. These masculines are slaying all those dragons right now. What is their emotion? Guilt. Yeah, I release any beliefs that no longer assist my soul's growth. So they had too much guilt to come forward. So that's fumbling this in the past, saying things they didn't mean, making choices that they didn't feel now are genuine. They were fear-based choices. So it's going to be different for every masculine here, but they did have guilt, but they're working on releasing that because this love is more important. What is the message they would give the feminine? Six of Wands. This is about inner victory. So Six of Wands is, you know, public recognition. This can be boastful. This can be prideful. That's not what's going on here. They're wanting to come forward when these connections sit well with their souls, and they can't look you in the eye and come forward before they've transmuted this guilt and freed themselves from condemnation. Like, they need to get right with God. They need to balance these things out within them in order to come forward and actually hold their head high to initiate this reconnection with you, feminines. Now, if you're in communication, if you're in connection already, this is the sacred intimacy that deepens beyond the mundane levels of connection. People can be in relationships, living in the same house, married, and still not have that sacred aspect. So even if you're in physical connection, you can interpret these messages for an even deeper level of sacred intimacy and letting go of those heart walls that prevent going deeper. What is the advice for the feminines? Two of Wands. So stepping out of comfort zone. I heard prolonging the patience, the wait. There's something here that, I'm just hearing every feminine right now is feeling like this is stretching to the max, how long it's taking. That's going to vary also with every couple, every connection, because they all take different rates of time. But here it's something about feminines allowing your masculine the grace to really transmute any of this guilt so that they can hold their head high when they come in. It's not about pleasing you and your time schedule. This is about them authentically doing the work to get themselves in the hot seat for these connections. 99% of that is already done before coming forward. What can we see on the conscious mind for these masculines regarding the heart space? The Nine of Cups. Yeah, they're wishing for this. So they're absolutely wishing for this. On my table, this raven is looking in the divine feminine direction, and the sun is there. So they already have a recognition of what they're going to say. The sun represents enlightenment, so they have awareness about what they want to come forward to here. On the heart space, I'm getting warm fuzzies. The energy of that they want to make it about offering you this warmth, not about any of the remaining guilt and shame. They don't want to be filtering what they're going to say to you through that lens. What is the emotion? Oh, trust, but it's in the inverse. So I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. They're very much listening to their inner voice. As we saw, they're listening to their honest truth, even if others around them may not have the same agenda, the same preference, the same focus, the same advice. These masculines are sorting through what they think others are saying and what their hearts are saying. What would they say to the feminines? Ten of Swords, Lord of Ruin. They're done with that. They don't want to evoke regret and failure in their lives anymore. They want to trust their hearts so that they know which way to go, so they know how to take full accountability for their choices. What is the advice for the feminines here? Six of Pentacles. Keep focusing on giving you what you need right now and learning what that is for you. Okay. What can we see for... Oh, I was just going to say it's like day 10 of my yoga challenge. Anybody still doing that? I think I've missed 2 days though. So I was like, how many days do I say? 10 or 8? So anyways, high fives, high fives. Okay. What are they feeling on the heart space for you feminines? Wow, here's the card of free will, accountability. So they're seeing how when push comes to shove, they have made choices in the past that were not in the highest and best. This is kind of cheating, the easy way, taking the easy way out, using the back door kind of energy, winning at all costs. They're really seeing now that you didn't deserve how they showed up, and that they also didn't mean it that way. They did not want to hurt you. They had impulsive, compulsive, wounded imprinting that they were not able to see beyond before this connection highlighted it. Like nobody that they've connected with has shown up the way you have as a mirror like you, so that you could hold space for their junk basically. And so they've seen it pretty clearly on the heart space. They know what you deserve, and they know how they've treated you. They're starting to see their patterns of how they treat people, whether that's you or others. And they know, it's like their own hearts are being convicted. So in many cases, they do have legitimate guilt about certain past behaviors and tendencies, but they cannot stay in those holding patterns and engage with you, feminines. And so they're really, your heart is the clearest mirror for that they have experienced. And so they are seeing it. They are understanding. They can't utilize their human tendencies with you. It has to be divine. I just heard. What is the emotion? Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So this is, again, a deeply internalized meditation. So in the past, they cut corners. They took the easy way. They did not do the impeccable right thing. They kind of slacked in some regard. They didn't do the most. They didn't step up. And so this is that developmental nudge, masculines. The perseverance card is here. It's an inside job. You are at a developmental stage, masculines, where this cutting corners will no longer do. Your conscience won't let you. You're already seeing through the cracks in that way of conducting yourself. And so you've got this. The perseverance card is here, but just because you haven't been able to push through this kind of perseverance or stamina emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it is that you're up against that's challenging you, just because you haven't been able to do it in the past doesn't mean that this isn't where that resilience and that second wind and that capacity comes to the forefront. And it does have to do with letting go of what other people think, clearing your guilty conscience, trusting your intuition, and doing it. What would they say to the feminines? The foolish man, they don't want to make a fool out of themselves. They love you so much. They just don't want to make a fool out of themselves. What is the advice for the feminines? Four of Cups, be receptive. So that's the other side of it. So you might be feeling all manner of reasons that you maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda, won't be receptive to this masculine. Possibly because it's taking a little bit longer for this to play out, but also possibly because you're picking up on some of this processing from your masculine and it's repelling you in the energy, turning your stomach, remembering times that it hasn't been honoring, whatever it may be right now. Really stay in an open curiosity about what your capacity to receive unconditionally, if this person is in a high frequency and coming forward. I'm not talking about putting up with junk again or, abuse if this isn't a high level divine aligned connection. But be receptive to allowing this masculine, relax in the energy so that this masculine feels the coast as clear. So check your own energy, feminines, and really be in this sort of Zen meditative state. And many I can hear in the collective saying, I am. If you're saying, I am like that and trying to convince me while I'm saying this message, you're not. So anyways, take a deep breath and come back into center. You're good no matter what your masculine does or doesn't do, or what this particular masculine you're watching for does or doesn't do. And so you're going to have to just carry on your life regardless and allow it to play out and leave it up to the fates, to the divine, to the whole big picture, whether this particular masculine is going to actually step forward. This is saying that they are definitely working on it. And whatever this make haste is, I'm actually going to clarify that. What are these masculines doing double time over here to, no, praying. So we got the card of surrender and prayer and, you know, having that accountability. So these masculines are very much leaning into their connection to source for instruction right now about loose ends, what they need to do. All right, what can we see for the manifestations these masculines are conscious of? Yeah, this new beginning in the physical. They definitely, these ones want to come forward. They want to offer this new beginning in the physical. And denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So this is what they want to say to you. This is what they want to offer to you, feminines, is that they have been afraid. And now they want to acknowledge the fear that they have had in the past, but they want to replace it with the insight of awareness. So this is conscious relationship. They want to consciously engage with you. They've never had that before, where they have partnered or engaged with people who didn't have some kind of agenda that wasn't in the name of actual love. So these journeys have been supporting us to come into authentic love. And now these masculines are realizing they can put down the fear and begin to engage here with the insight of awareness, conscious communication. And I'm just hearing not communicating with an agenda, a blame, a projection, a victim. These masculines want to have a fresh start with a conscious partner here. What would they say to the feminines? Lord of material trouble. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. So, so they also know they need a new fresh start in the physical, and that finances might be of concern. That might be scaring them right now. So part of what they want to maybe talk to you about is that they have some fear, but they want to replace it with the insight of awareness that they are picking up on honest truths, developmental capacity expanding, and they are beginning to trust themselves more to follow their higher path. And so it may look a little bit dicey financially right now for some of them, but they want to acknowledge that and then also express, proclaim that they have a whole new understanding of the nature of reality, and that even though the finances aren't necessarily in order the way they would like, that they do have now genuine awareness backing the awareness that things are changing and that there is alignment coming in here. So they know that part of the path that they've been on was to secure some physical realm, financial foundation. For many of them, I'm seeing it didn't go as planned, and they're having to have some degree of humility to express that, and also bravery to know that this is a developmental stage that is taking them out of, I heard, hapless manifesting, spiritless manifesting, misaligned manifesting. Yeah, and so now they're going to be consciously manifesting the skills that they've learned about creating abundance, and now aligning that with things that are more aligned and channels that will bring in clean money, I just heard. So energetically balanced finances. What is the advice for the feminines? Yes. This is the telepathic, energetic connection, but this is also swift movement. So I'm just getting this message about financial humility and intention and manifestation, and these concerns and this resilience is going to be coming in quickly for those that message applies. You're going to learn about this soon. Really soon. And this is part of, so some of the advice that others are cautioning these masculines might be to wait before engaging in a conversation with you about this. But I'm seeing that many of these masculines don't want to be in that pretense anymore. They want to be real. They want to be honest with you, of all people, feminines. So I'm not wanting to trigger anybody if there's financial insecurity here, but I want to highlight that these masculines want to be transparent with you, and they might be fighting their ego and pride or other people in their reality who are cautioning them not to let you in on how they're really feeling at this time. But it feels like they want to be in there with you, and that they're individuating from these other well-meaning advisors. We'll just say it like that. So what can we see for the action they're willing to take, wanting to take? The Hierophant. So again, another card of prayer, of getting these divine downloads, of opening to higher guidance. What is the emotion? Grief in the inverse. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So many of these masculines realize they have lost you. Let's face it, feminines. These masculines have, in many cases, if you were simply karmic partners, whatever has played out in your connection would have rightfully been the end of a typical relationship that didn't have this level of soul connection, divinity, empowerment, I just heard. So they haven't lost you, but ordinarily connections can't withstand what this connection has gone through. So these masculines do want to be accountable with this connection, and they do want to actually align and partner with you. And that means radical honesty, ownership, transparency, perseverance, trust. And they are mustering this. They're going to source to understand how to bring this through. Wow. And Lord of perfected work, the Four of Wands. So union, they would say, I'm working on a foundation, soul foundation, integrity, character. And I know that it's not just about the material realm. It's also about the alignment, the intention, the honesty, the integrity. What is the advice for the feminines? Justice is on the table, but not in the upright yet. So again, these masculines are clearing the shame, the guilt, the grief, listening to others. These are masculines who are refining their hearts so they can really earnestly come forward. What is their biggest challenge? What would they say? Fear of abandonment. So they've been people pleasers. They have really significantly cared about what community and families and loved ones and friends have had to say about their comings and goings. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be abandoned. They care. They are community builders. They have huge capacities to hold space for others, but they also are learning to step into their own sovereignty, their own direction, their own leadership, their own masculinity to the fullest in a divine way. And so with you, you are their biggest test, because they have to be pure of heart and they have to be authentic to come forward to you, feminines. And that means they have to be real about how they're feeling, about their lives, about their circumstances, about what they are proud of, what they're working on. They have to be transparent. And so their biggest challenge is transitioning from being heavily enmeshed in previous connections, relationships, friends, family, all the things, and now wanting and being guided to do it right in sacred partnership with their true match. And so they're simultaneously overcoming the people-pleasing ways with the wrong people and coming into what it means to be sovereign in the right connection. And so they're working on this abandonment wound. What is the emotion connected with that? Patience in the inverse. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So they thought they were ready sooner. And in some cases, they thought they had more time. But regardless, it was this in-between worlds, facing their insecurities about being the bad guy or being labeled inappropriate or dropping the ball. So they haven't wanted to rock the boat or cause destruction in leaving whatever they're transitioning out of. They've wanted to stay in balance and in integrity, and that is why they're doing it meticulously. Sometimes their human runs out of patience, but this is also just like the perseverance card and the trust card. It's a work in progress, and these masculines are anchoring this new masculine 2.0 version of themselves through this adversity, through this journey, through this process, and they are overcoming their fear of abandonment and fear of abandoning others. What would they say to their feminines? Princess of the Palace of the Floods. So they're surrendering. This is the Page of Cups, and they are surrendering to this. They're letting down the guard. Oh, wow. I just heard they're going to let an I love you slip out. Okay, so there's a little bit of emotion that's safe to come in. They're no longer needing to have an alliance with things that are being outgrown. And so part of why they were not emotionally available, feminines, is because they were emotionally tethered to previous ingrained and imprinted ways, the karmic ways. What can we see for the feminines? Two of Swords. So drop into your truth about things. Again, disclaimer, if you're in an abusive relationship, if things are aggressive and actually unbalanced, remove yourself. But if you're processing any manner of guesses about what's going on, put all those aside and just drop into your heart and keep going. Everybody is anchoring this trust in divine timing and patience. So feminines, you're meant to really trust your heart right now. There's a blindfold on this feminine, and justice isn't quite here, but this is picking up on the things that are in the works energetically. And I'm getting that just go back to that place of knowing and just allow for these things to continue to be divinely directed. We saw the card of prayer twice for the masculines, praying for this instruction, and this is helping them see through the labyrinth right now. What is the solution for this? Page of Pentacles. This is the kindness. This is stepping forward in the physical. This is beginning to take the action. This is small, kind, present interactions. This can be a new way of communicating emerging. This can be small gestures starting to come towards you. Feminines, backed by this love and this bigger desire for foundation and union. What is the emotion? Relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So they're going to start investing into this connection because it's aligned. It is for their higher good, and they're ready to love themselves enough to invest in relationships that are for their good, not for their demise or for trickery or for manipulation or for another agenda. These masculines see that this relationship creates growth and aliveness and abundance. And this is why they know that they can come forward and be honest about the struggles that they're having, about any insecurities they're having, where they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be sincere, and where there's a will, there's a way. So masculines, put down the shame, put down the stubborn pride, put down the guilt, and really acknowledge that you want to figure this out. You wanting to invest in this is the majority of what is needed. The rest is meditation and prayer about that instruction. What would these masculines say to the feminines? Child of the great transformers, death and rebirth. So I just heard, I'm coming back around. You ready for me? And I heard them also saying, will you catch me? I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. This is love. I just heard. Wow, masculines. What is the advice for the feminines? Hierophant, listen to your higher guidance. These masculines are. You do that too, feminines. Not everybody is in a divine love connection. Even if you feel an intense pull, that does not mean that it is a relationship that serves your higher good, that's meant to be a life partnership. Some still won't have that. Many in this collective will. So keep listening to your guidance in the way that it plays out, how the interactions. We are literally meant to be running absolutely every single thing we observe through our connection to source, and everything we offer and express, also running it through higher guidance, love, source, for editing or confirmation. And so this journey takes us from not having self-control, emotional regulation, and it brings us into this beautiful, compassionate, genuine, authentic exchange, capacity to exchange, give and receive actual love. And so that is the key, is running everything through that higher guidance. What is the near future? Okay, the masculines don't even know. Ace of Swords. This is still about searching for that truth, that internal truth, that knowing. So the masculines are continuing to seek what they need to know. They don't know what they don't know right now. And pride, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Yeah. So they're really going through a rebirth, a death and rebirth here, feminines. They have had to really dismantle every bit of their lives and swallow their stubborn pride, and now find this healthy pride to come forward. And so they don't know exactly how that's all going to continue to finalize and anchor and be illuminated to them, but they are working double time to get those downloads and to take accountability and to find those reality checks in them that allows them to believe this love and to be accountable for it. What would they say to their feminine? The Empress. You're the Empress. You're it for me, babe. I just heard. You're it. You're it. You're it. What can we see? The Queen of Swords. You've done your best, feminines. Now, take that sword and plant it. Relax, allow, carry on with the things that you need to do, and really give your masculine this compassionate grace period. 3 so that they can fully see their divinity, their worthiness, and how they can be this partner for you by being in their humble, healthy pride and not staying back so hardcore anymore. Not being so metal. Hey, masculines. Okay, what can we see more? So funny. What can we see for the masculines? Divine masculine. Be a peaceful warrior, masculines. Have integrity in all actions. Step into compassionate leadership. Find freedom through forgiveness. Your focus and patience will cultivate a positive change. Your love is your strength, masculines. And for the feminines, surrender, be receptive. Yeah. Stay present. Listen to your heart. You are infinite. Don't worry about a temporary squeeze while this becoming anchors, feminines. You're going to have the rest of your lives to explore the fun, the best part. So it's not going to be much longer. Just allow for this radical receptivity to the time it's taking, what's still needed to happen as these masculines come into this embodiment fully. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.